Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. I am GM Le here and it's been a while since I released the last video. So here, as I did promise earlier, so I will try to do the recap of the World Beat and Blitz event, right? Which actually happened a month ago. But due to some busy in schedule, I think I got under the weather a little bit. And also, yeah, as you know, so we just celebrated the Lunar New Year a couple of days ago, so we needed to prepare for that, for decorations, for all kind of things. So only right now I feel completely fine. I am done with, you know, actually Lunar New Year already. So I can be here talking to you guys about the recap and talking about with you guys about all the things I can feel and you know everything happened in the World Rapid Unblessed Championships. So as you know, that was my first event ever, right? First event ever. I was able to play in the that prestigious event alongside with Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, and own super strong players. And for me, that was an honor to be able to represent my country as I'm the only Vietnamese players who play in the event, right? So the event happened in Almaty, Kazakhstan, and happened from December 26 to December 30. So in the first video here, I will tell you guys about day one of the Warped and Bliss, and also something that I kind of getting through in some first couple of days and before the first day of the event. So first of all, as you can see here, I'm wearing a jacket, right? In fact, in my country right now, it is not that cold, but I'm wearing this right now just to emphasize to you that the weather when I came to Almaty is freezing, was freezing. If I remember correctly, so I came to Almaty should be at around 1 a.m. December 24th. So I came there 2 days in advance to be able to be, familiar with the weather, with the food, and the conditions out there. And the temperature at the time should be like minus 10 Celsius, And in my country, so I think the coldest temperature we have had for the last couple of years should be something like 10 Celsius. So that is nearly 20 degrees Celsius difference, which obviously is, quite huge, right? So, that was pretty cool. I had never been in that cold before. So it took, I think more than a day for me to get used to that. The event was huge. There was a very nice, opening ceremonies where, it was pretty fun. Most players joined there. There are some, there were some really nice, I think, shows from the hosts. So, and organizers, so nothing can be complained, in fact. I was not so familiar with the food there, but my mother traveled with me, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so in the first day of the event, we play 5 games of Rapid. The event contained 5 days in total, 3 days of Rapid and 2 days of Blitz. So in 3 days of Rapid, we have 5 games in the first day, 4 games in the second day, and 4 games in the final day, which is the third day as well. So the event started at 3 p.m. December 26th, and it lasts nearly for 7 hours of playing. I think if I remember correctly, so the fifth game, the final game of round 5, was mine, and I could only go back to the hotel at something I think 10:30 p.m., which was insane. So okay, here let me trying to get through the games and trying to tell you guys about what happened in these games, and also my feelings and my thoughts process. So it has been nearly a month, so I might forget something or I might speak something a bit wrong, so please forgive me, and I will try to explain the game and all the things in the clearest way possible. So let's go. So here in the first game of the event, me, you see here, GM Le Tuan Minh here. I believe I was seated number 124th. You know, I think of 180 players, so I was seated 124th, which marked the difficulty of the event. I believe I got, you know, everybody a play like higher than me, so it was a tough event. At first, I did plan to play safe in the rapid event and try my best in the blitz one, like trying to draw some games in rapid and try and save some energies for the blitz. But sadly, due to the low rating, people just want to beat me, and I need to fight basically every game. So let's go. First game, I got to play against the Armenian Grandmaster Robert Havanesian, and let's get through the games. D45. So the game in fact was pretty theoretical. I think the best way to do, I don't think I will try and go too deep into the game, but instead I will try to stop at some interesting moments and talk about what happened in the game, or like if I have I miss some chances, or if it's something fun. So the opening was pretty famous one. I think the shallow defense, which is very famous guess in the high level of chess. Match 4, the main lines are bishop e4, f3 here, queen b3, queen c7, bishop d2. I play one for white myself, so I have some ideas. For black, I'm so sorry for that. So here in the game, Robert play, I think, a pretty solid line, g6. So I takes, queen c2, bishop bishop d2, this is okay, g3. You can see here, right? A relatively solid lines for both sides. The center is kind of close, and white has a slight initiative due to bishop pair. But the fact, you can see here that black doesn't have any real issue. He has no weaknesses, right? So it's not easy at all. That's why it is only a very slim edge for white. See it? Castles b5. So he strike first. You want to open up the center to d1. So if I play cd5, he take with the c pawn, and then the queen can be pinned here. So obviously it's not a good choice. c5 but e5. So I don't really like this one. Undo engine, maybe fine with that. So in the game d1 I play takes, knight b6, which I think is probably wrong. But in the game I was pretty fine with the c4 here, which is what I did expect. So knight e4 is what I do plan, c5, queen c4, and I think now the portion is more or less open, right? So the bishop pair now will be better. I can even try like queen to a6 as well, which also can be a fun attempt, I think so. So in the game here, number 6, taking the pawn, c5, and c4, bishop e1. This one, okay, could be it. Bishop f1. The plan is taking c4 and make the pawn become weaker. b1 can allow knight e3, which will be, might be a bit annoying. So bishop a1 first, queen e7, I takes, queen e2, and I win a pawn. Here, right? Win a pawn. At this point of the game, if I remember correctly, I still had I think around 5 minutes, and he had only around 2 to 3 minutes. The time control of the event is 15 minutes plus 10-second increment per move. So at this point, I already thought I was better, and I had high hopes here. I didn't even think okay, I can try to win for white in the first game. Mark my first game in this event. That's a thing to do. I take the pawn here, knight 6, and although these light squares here are pretty weak, right? But it's not easy for him to reach to the squares. For instance, if you have queen d7, right? I tend to play queen to h3. I can even like capture the pawn here. Here, so I play queen f1, and you can see, right? This one can defend everything. Or I can play here as well. And queen g2. So, in the game, if I was play, he intends to play rook b4, attacking the queen and the pawn on d8 on d4 here. I think in the game I calculated here for a while. I should rook b1 or a3. That's mean safer or slower a little bit. But somehow in the game I decided to simplify, which was wrong. d5. Before when forcing, queen a6, forcing again. This is a must since I need to defend opponent c5 right here. So here, queen a6, c5, queen a6 here, which is actually wrong again. The engine scream for ac1, but I must admit that in the game I don't see anything special after let's say d5. And here queen a7 maybe, and then d5 here is wrong due to text, and here bishop f2, you know, and we lose material. So in the game I play queen c6, text, rook c8. The pawn here is in trouble, and I have nothing so strong with the discovery. In the game, play d5. That's one, text, rook c4, e5, and rook c6. So this basically was forcing. When I play d5, I needed to see tildes. So I played pretty fast here. But somehow I thought I had some chance to win. But when this progression arises on the board, I just had a second thought. Somehow he had some counterplay on second rank. The pawn on f2 is pretty weak, right? My pawn on a4, a2 here is a pass pawn, but it's not easy here to find a way to push that to get a new queen. So somehow it should be equal. I guess so. Or I'm slightly better only. Should e1, e3 in the game. He block the pawn in a2. Also rook c1 can be a thing. d2, I play the rook c1 here. Rook c1. This one probably, I think, is the best one to try here. The engine scream for this one. Text. And it claims something like, you know, plus 1.2. I mean, like actually 2 plus 0 here. But I think it should be equal. Like, you know, this should be a theoretical draw where I don't see any real trouble for like a4, like g5, like okay, let's say here a7, and yeah, should not be something so crushing. So the here, and here, and you can see, right? It's not easy at all. If you try to get here, so now you can see that, you just wait. The engine thing plus 3.8 for white, but you cannot win. If you can get closer, you can check. So it is a theoretical draw, group endgame. So in the game, I play like a4 here. Please do text. This one text. In the game, I did hope the rook c1. That's what I hope in the game. So let's d1 here, and I think I have some chances since like now my rook is placed behind the pawn, and his rook here is a bit passive. You know, it's not placed like behind the pawn as usual, but here I have some chances. In the game, he played better. Rook a6. If I rook c5, b2, and in the game you can see here, right? Somehow I have no chance. Although the engine still thought that why should we still, I mean, should have some slashes still, but somehow here, as you can see, like, you know, our rook are so passive, right, to defend the pawn on a5, and couldn't even do anything else. So that's why in the game some moves was played, but I think the result was never in doubt. See here, yeah, rook g4 is still a draw. I mean, if you take here, so rook a5, and that is very drawish. The pawn in the same, you know, side of the board, you know, just not enough to win. Here text, okay, here in the game I try something here, but once again, as mentioned earlier, nothing can be done anymore. Try here h3, a4, which I think is the best way to try here. f3, a1, and here, and then keep a pressure. Obviously, if you play here, you can admit that, right? Play king g8, and I can't even go this way. Since, I mean, I need to go here again. If you play here, for instance, right? He is the one who can give checks and win material, and I'm actually gonna be losing. So the first game of the event and in a draw, I can tell you I was pretty, you know, like fine with the game, with the result, like content with the result. Obviously, I want to win, especially I'm a pawn up, right? Then my opponent defended well, and I thought that I didn't see any like really clear chances. That's why. Even with the best move like earlier, with like let's say here, here like a3, right? Stopping this one, still rook d8 here can still be quite annoying and not that easy. So probably a draw is the best thing. Is not a better result at all. Okay, so let's move to game 2. Game 2 is where I got the first win, and that was huge. I was black against the legend Israel player, Israel Grandmaster, Breskjalvan. We all know him, right? A veteran and obviously a super strong player in the past. Now he got older a little bit, but obviously he was still very, very strong. But this game, I was pretty happy that I can win against him. Somehow here, so we play the slap again, right? You can see the slide happened last game. But here, I play with black, and I play the slide, which is what I always play. 7, we should e2, we should e7 here. Castles, c4, 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 okay, on main line, touch, can be 1, b5, e2, c5. The engine screamed for h2. I knew what the engine said, but for me, this makes no sense at all. Okay, we can win a free pawn, right? But I can get a strong center. Also, your double pawn here doesn't make, the pawn up feel that much. That's why I just go c5 here. 5 for the center in the game. So g4, b4, okay. a4, d7, touch, c1, queen 6. In the game here, it was pretty complicated, and as you can see at this point, black, is slightly worse due to the engine. White has a bishop pair, and the most important thing here is that black will enter castles sooner or later, right? The king can't stay in the center in this case, and obviously when you castles here is h4, h5, but opening up the king side as soon as possible will be a very annoying pattern in the game. After some thought, I just went right away. Castles h4, d8, bishop h4, extremely correct in the game. So I hope for h5 here, where I have rook d2, and I think this kind of trick may be fine for me. So in the game, h4, correct, b3. The only thing black can do now is looking for activities, right? That's why I play b3, attempt to open up some files in the queen side. Understandable, right? h5. This was wrong. I think this is the best. Me and him, we talked a little bit after the game, and we both agree that this is the best move. In the game, he didn't see something so clear. We both see rook d7 and rook d8 here as well, or maybe just rook a8, or rook here, and rook here, rook d4 maybe. And we believe it was a bit unclear, but for the engine, it will not be scared of this thing. But I guess here, so with this move, so maybe maybe queen d3, defend a pawn, bishop d4, play here, bishop e2, I don't know. But I think that this pawn can be defended, and black need to, I think, some pieces to focus on the pawn. That's not easy, and it can even make some changes in the formations, like some exchanges, and that may not be good for I feel. In the game b3, h5, this was wrong. This here, king a1. As you can see here, all of a sudden now, although when a pawn, this pawn can be dropped later, so it's not a big deal. But suddenly, we had a clear target, right? That's actually a very good thing. g5 in the game. I think I can be proud of this move. This one should be given, I guess, like an exclamation mark. So I close the king side temporarily, and I just kind of focus on my own attack. As you can see here, it slower, I mean, like, make his attack become slower, right? G5 should D4. And this is quite clear, this is the ideas. If you play here, for instance, it can be wrong since I play queen hero here, rook h2 and queen a5, and this double attack literally kill the game here and here, and like it's gonna win, right? In the game, if I was play after rook d5, one, which once again I was pretty proud of. I attacking the bishop on g5, pawn here as well, and also rook b5 can also be an attack on b2, which is a huge attack, huge weakness. Take here, rook g5 in the game. Take here as well, rook b8, pressure on the pawn, rook h2. So in the game, rook b5 was the engine recommendation, but I didn't see like really clear through it, so I just played something simple, rook g7. At this point, I had around a minute, and Boris get around, I think, 30 seconds. a6, to here, f4, f4 probably is wrong, rook is rook 5, right? Rook c2. So the only way to win is rook b2 here, and here queen g1 right away. And this was exceptionally strong. The queen here is quite overloaded. It's like queen d3, for instance, play like queen h2, and I'm gonna pin. See, right? And if you play queen to somewhere else, it's queen g2, I play here, and it's the same. The pin here basically decide the game instantly. In the game, so I play something which is slightly, I think, wrong. Queen d4, queen d2, and queen g1. Sadly it is that now I change a little bit. He can defend here with this one and queen c1. And the fun news here is that this one no longer works anymore into the mate, you know, which didn't happen if the queen is an e2. But now in the game, he was run down in time, so queen f2, and rook b2 here, which decided the matter right away. Queen g1 allows mate, and in the game, take here, and same issues happen, right? Queen b2 can just be played like bishop b2, and here the queen f1, queen f4, and black's gonna win easily. So I got a 1.5 out of 2. Quite a decent start, right? In fact, I was pretty happy at this point. Game 3, I met no one rather than Hans Niemann. And game 3, in fact, is very interesting. All I can say in game 3 is that, you know, somehow I was a bit lost. I was down in time, but then I didn't play correctly, and then I was winning, and then he kept on defending with some tricky resources, and then in time scramble, I didn't play it right, and I missed the chance to win. So I will not go, I will not waste you guys' time anymore. Let's take a look at this game. So in the game here, so we got the Queen's Gambit decline, this line, a very, I think this draw goes in. So here and here and here. We play a pretty, rare variations. In the game was fine here for sure in the game. So okay, nothing special. Got the pair of knight and got a center as well. He got bishop here. In the game, so I look for some center break right here. Queen e4, queen here, h4, h5, d5. This is the plan. At this point, I believe I had around 5 minutes. Where he still had I think 11 minutes, and here he spent the first real long thought in the game, somewhere around 7 minutes, and he played the best move before. Takes c4, c5. I am up a pawn on d5, right? But my pair of knight is a little bit hanging. My pawn on d5 is not that strong as well. In the game, knight e2, b5. Putting pressure on my knight on c4. So here I can rook c1, but rook c1 may allow bishop c4, and then my pawn here drops. Knight e3 is what I play. Knight 3 is what I also conclude as well. But rook e2, and you can see that black definitely has some counterplay. in the game. So knight e5, f6, knight g6. We get here, attacking me on the e file. Queen g4, f5. Distract my queen. If I play queen f5, knight drops. Queen f3, bishop d6. Knight e4, c2. Here I was down in time. If I remember correctly, here I only had 10 seconds on the clock, something like that. And he had around, I think, like 2 minutes. b3 was down in time. I think this move I made when I had only like 2 or 3 seconds left. Here rook a3 can be very good for him. And I don't even see that. You know, also down in time, you know. e4 in the game, takes queen g4. So here rook e8 can be exceptional for him. -3 is what the engines call. Now knight e6 here is wrong, bishop e2. And this one doesn't work anymore. And if you play like somewhere else, like e3 can be a thing, pawn can drop here as well. And although the queen and the pair of knights looks quite scary, nothing that serious. In the game, bishop d7 was still by him, which was his 3 mistakes. Knight e6 here. As you can see here, right? This is the threat. For instance, if you play like e3, right? Here, and suddenly this is mate. An f8, right? A pretty fun mate. In the game, so here, bishop e6 here. In the game, okay, where? So, okay, here it is. You take the bishop, which is wrong. Place here, e5. e7, king rook e8, and king h2. The threat is rook d8. In the game, I already calculated here. So take this one here, rook d8, and I was completely winning, like this way, and then, oops, I don't mean this one, obviously. Queen f5 here, and then queen f8, and this is over. But somehow in the game, he found the best defense, bishop b6. I was in time scrambles, so I couldn't be able to find things. As you can see here in the screen, the engine screams for a very huge edge. I think the best move here is queen e6. King here, we take the bishops, queen d1, and then you play knight f8, and then you have the limiting threat this way. And sadly, this is not that easy to be calculated, so I miss a chance. I play something pretty modest, e1. Take the pawn here on e4, but queen f2, queen here, king here. I think the best way to play here is like something queen e4, which I play in the game. But this one, I must play knight e5. It's the only way to play here. This one. Like something else that easy. Or the one in the game can is fine as well. g3 and knight e5. This is the only way. And then the knight here can defend the pawn h4, rook on e1, and the pawn this one h2, right? So there's no meeting threats. But even here, I can see that the engine don't think it's like something so special, right? This point here is not easy. Also here earlier, like at this point, I can play rook d7 as well, or maybe I don't know, rook d5, rook e1 probably is a bit wrong. I think this is the one that ruined the game. The engine still think I'm winning with like queen d7, you know, taking the e8 square, e8 rook, and holding the squares. As I mentioned earlier, so easy, like you know when you're down in time, right? So your rook being chased away, so you may not think about something else. So in the game, so queen here, king s7, queen d4, bishop checks here, h1 and queen g3. So in the game, I play this one right away, king g8, and I realized I had nothing more than a draw. Play here, this one, I mean, I already think this one actually, but I don't see anything else. This one, king d8. So queen here, king e7, the square is covered, so queen here again, and here as well. You can see it, right? Somehow, I got nothing, somehow. So in the game, I went for perpetual with queen here and knight here and perpetual as well, which was a bit pity. I was completely winning, and then I missed a chance. But still, it was, I will say, a very nice experience to play hands, OTB. So in the game, I can just tell you that he feel a bit not so focused. Sometimes he just look around and he doesn't seem to be focused, but he still play well and he can see some really nice resources, you know? But still, I missed a chance. And that's a pity. 2 out of 3. Game 4, I play against GM Le Tuan Minh from Russia. and that, I would say, that is the fastest draw of me in the whole 13 rapid rounds. I was down in time, and then my opponent somehow offered me a repetition and was fine. But okay, I mean, I drew against somebody who was 150 points more than me, so it's fine. Game 5, I met GM Aravind Chittambaram from India, and we play 11 variations. This game was rough, and this game was the longest game of the round. In fact, I was so winning. I will show you like the portion where I'm winning right away. I think right now all the games can already be seen just base or in plenty of other places, you know. So in the game, I can just show you like here we play little variations, and this is what I always play online, so you know what I'm doing. He went for aggressive play. Let's see, alright. But I think I play safe against that. So here, 6, and actually Black's doing okay in the game. So there comes some long maneuvers up and up the center, but he played it quite cautiously, and I didn't see any way to make like real progress. So I will just like make it long. So here, some long maneuvers right now, which, you know, take some time of us in the game. See here, right? But in the game here, so this one, I think it's when I'm getting better. Bishop 4 and Queen f5. This one. When I try to win upon h5 here, he should be fine if you play e1 here, for instance, and then h5. I can take, I guess, like you take here probably, or maybe here, I don't know, and then g4. But that's not easy. In the game, let's c4, which is a mistake. h5. c1 in the game. Back home. So in the game here, he commit a serious mistakes. I should I take on cd5 maybe, and rook d5, maybe queen b3 maybe. He is down a pawn, but he get bishop pair still, which I think probably keeps some chances. In the game, he was down in time, so he made a serious mistakes. Bishop e4 takes, and here queen h3. Suddenly I'm up a free pawn, and I have some strong attack right here, you know. In the game, so takes here. F4, G5 here, and this one. In fact, you can see here, right? I got something like -6 right now. In the game, I was so confident I'm winning. G4 is next, right? And also, I have a strong attack right here. But I will mess this one up very, very soon. F3. The best way to win is like queen d7 here. So easy. Since f4 can allow like g4 again, and rook d2, which can be, I would say, a decisive attack. But in the game, I was down in time as well. I rook d8 here, bishops, and e5. Suddenly, I realized that, I mean, I couldn't play knight d7 with the pawn here drops. Also, the knight is hanging, you know, here and here, and I think I'm even in trouble. So here should be, maybe I'm still fine, but I don't want to go for this. In the game, so I play f3, f3, and g4, which is actually wrong. The engine screamed for like knight e4 here, which is insane. I was down in time, you know. The idea is like queen e4, rook d1, and here queen h2, and win on d2. Next. Win the game, I took f3, and g4, which was wrong. I only focused on this one, but somehow after bishop c3, I had nothing. Queen h5. And then, you know, after like another long battle here, I'm up a pawn, but like, you know, when rich time scrambles, we both might play something wrong, and then somehow I allow him to push the pawn to, you know, force me to drop a piece for that. So we can see here, right? This one here briefly. So here, and this one, you see, right? One, and then he righted me for another 50 minutes. No, sorry, like 50 minutes and like 60 moves. Should be, I mean, a draw still. As you can see, the engine doesn't think that white is better, you know, that much. But still, white is having bishops, and he can run me forever. But in the game here, you can see that I have a fortress, and it never is a win for him. See, right? So thing here, give him a free pawn away, and next to defend here, since like he doesn't have any way to kick my king out of h5. So it's a draw. And so after that, after 5 games, We had, I think three and actually 3 or 5 plus one, right? Plus one. 4 draws and 1 win. I would say that is a decent first day. I was very tired after the finish of the final round and got back to home and had dinner at like 10 p.m. So this was the first day of the event. Please give me some feedback and please tell me if this is like a good way to make a recap. This is only the first part. There will come like another 4 parts of the event, 4 days, and more fun is to come. Thank you guys for hearing me. I'm GM Le here, and we'll see you guys later in some other videos. Peace.